Hello, everyone. This is Travis, and you're listening to Frantic Purpose. Woo! It's Friday, and wearing glasses on a podcast. I don't know how that is. Do you like it? How does it look? Good? For those listening, it looks great. Fantastic. Um, so, some time has passed between this one and the last one, but we're doing it. We're here. We're here again. Happy to be here. Anyone listening, hope you're having a wonderful Friday. You could feel it. I don't know when it technically is summer. I think is it summer? It feels like summer, and that's what I'm excited about. So I'll just jump right in. Okay, me and Amanda went on a Royal Caribbean cruise that was gifted to us by MGM Casinos. Thank you, MGM. Um, And it was our first cruise of this caliber. Amanda had never been on a cruise before, and I had, but it was like a small ship, 300 people. Very different than a 4,000 person boat. So we go to LAX. We're just going to do story time a little bit, okay? It'll be fun. We come flying in to LA, and we Uber down to the hotel, which is going to be right next to the port of all cruises, the big old one down there. And cool beans. Check into the hotel, no issues. We go bowling as we do. Me and Amanda, we're big on games. We like to play a lot of games. We like to compete between each other. And we usually our main people can have issues finding out what to bet on during these things, but me and Amanda don't have that issue. Our main primary bet is something we call a big pull, which is slot slot machine language for when you do like a max bet on a higher denomination slot machine, or you could just use that. It's $25 essentially. When we first came up with it, it was 75. Amanda didn't understand that, so we changed it down to 25. 75 is a lot of money. Anyways, so we played bowling for a big pull, and then went home, and then we sampled like the local bars over in that general area. We went to Godmother's, which was cool, and then we went into this other bar that was like nice and cool and whatever. And not 2 seconds into it, this has really not happened to me. I'm not sure ever in my life. Um, it. So we sat down, literally cheersed, and then somebody came up to us and was like, "You guys don't belong here." And I was like, "As I do. What do you mean?" And then this person was like, "I'm trying to do you a favor. Okay, you guys don't belong here. It's not for you." And in my head, I just thought, I think this man is just drunk and maybe a little racist. We were definitely like other than the bartender, the only white people. Um, and we weren't making a scene. We were just, I was watching baseball, and Amanda was sitting next to me, and we're chatting. Um, and everyone seemed to be having a great time. They didn't even really seem to notice we were there. So Amanda was very not okay with this, and kind of at first scared, and that turned into anger later. And I told her, I think he's drunk and a little racist. And then, I think he just doesn't want us here. I think he's really hammered. And it's funny because then I see like this guy's friend come up and like you could see him trying to explain something to the guy, but he wasn't getting it. And then not moments later, the bartender kicked him out. So I feel like we were good. We were doing okay. Um, Other than that, so Amanda was mad. We went for a little walk after, and I managed to calm her down and be like, "It's all good. He was just drunk and probably a little racist. That's fine. It is what it is." So, went to bed, woke up, and then we went to the boat. Our room was awesome. It had a balcony that I thought we would use more, but that's just like the general weather on the boat between locations was cold. So we did go in the hot tubs, and figuring out like what exactly, how what do we do here? In my mind, I thought we had to buy every meal, which I wasn't happy about. I was like, there's no complimentary things. And even Amanda was like digging into the facts, the FAQs, and she found a whole like list of complimentary things, but I had already bought like a few meals and we hadn't figured it out yet, but in the middle of the trip we're like, "Oh my god, we could eat for free the whole time. We didn't have to buy anything." So, we promised we haven't. I'll get to what we if we get it next time or whatever. So it's all good. We had seafood from Hooked, which was like it was okay. Um, we had Chopped or Chop, which was like their premier steakhouse. And I want to tell you, this will later down the road. I'll tell you a story about Chop. And then we had sushi. And then one night we had the free option, was just the dining hall, and you just eat for free. So that was probably my most favorite. Um, I'm a gambler, so is Amanda to some extent. She, I have a lot of rules, and I've won a good amount of money, and I've taught my methods to other people who have also been able to, win some money. So that's fun. But so one of the things is, how is it going to be gambling on a boat? And the one thing in Vegas I really enjoy is, by law, casinos are like required to pay out 90% of the time. How that works out, it's just so people aren't completely screwed. You could go places in the world and they'll just handle you. Like you go in, there's no way you're winning. If you won their jackpot, they wouldn't be able to pay you out. It's depressing. I don't want to gamble at those places because I know that it's just a money pit, and that's not why I gamble. I don't gamble just to donate my money to Royal Caribbean. So we gambled. Amanda had a little bit more luck than me, but Amanda generally, no matter how much luck, she has an issue like not walking away. And usually our rules are, if you get a big win at a casino, you just go down the street to the next one, and that's like Vegas. But on the boat, there's only one option. So we made the rule after doing some sessions at the casino that we're not gonna gamble on boats anymore. At least boats at sea. Riverboat gambling is something that I still want to do and is separate from international waters. Blah blah blah. The vibe of the boat is everyone's getting drunk, everyone's eating way too much. This is their right. Have a great time. It's not what me and Amanda like at all, because our goal is to stay relatively fit and eat relatively healthy. We want to, you've heard, if you've been listening to my podcast, you know that I boil chicken, and from the steam of that boiling, I steam vegetables. And that's like Monday through Friday. And I love it. I really think it's great. I don't know, like at this point, I look forward to those meals. And then the weekend is for cheat days or whatever I want to eat. But even then, I want to be healthy. So figuring out what to do on the boat was tough, because even when we got in the pool, we thought, it was kind of a hotter day. We were in we were out ported by Mexico, and so it was a nice day. And we got in the pool, and the pool was ocean water, and not only that, it was hot in the pool, which was weird. So it reminded us both of when we went to Grenada for our honeymoon. Just like, and I say, you got that, roll your eyes at me for sure. It's like a fancy prison. But I had to, I kept on saying, we have to change. We have to find stuff we do like. We can't just be focused on what sucks, because we could still eat. It doesn't have to be crappy. And they have all these events, whatever. We ended up going to this bar called the Cosmopolitan, which was at the top of the boat, and they had like karaoke, and we ended up having some conversations with some random people, and one person said that we're gonna have a boy, and I'm like, cool, right on. Either way, a child would be nice. We heard this man named Ray, an old man with a cowboy hat, sing Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. Rest in peace, Jimmy. And he killed it. It was awesome. So the boat life, we worked out on the boat too, which was good. Um, but I have confidence that if we get to do it again, we'll do it our way and not feel so like confused. um, Catalina Island, I've always wanted to go, and literally one of the first things I said was, "Man, I want to retire here." It is. I love island life. I've had the privilege of you know actually getting to live on in the Azores, Portugal, and also Guam. Um, and I- and even when I've been to Hawaii or Tahiti, like island life is just it. It's like a mirror. Everyone's very kind. It's very slow, and there's so much beauty. So that's how it was for me. Um, Catalina was everything I wanted it to be, and more. They have this thing they built in 1929. Wrigley, the guy who owned like Wrigley Gum, he like owned Catalina for a while, and he's like, we need to build this giant, essentially a monument, a building for an opulent, beautiful movie theater, and also a ballroom on top. And this thing, I almost didn't want to go to this place, but I went and I was moved to tears. Like, cause I've never like it's rare that we build anything that exudes love or creative, energy or whatever. I could feel the respect for movies and radio and dance in this place. So if you ever go to Catalina, make sure to go to the casino. There are no um, places to gamble. It is not that kind of casino, and that's okay. So that's basically it. We ate at Coyote Joe's, I believe it was called, and which was good, and went into a local sports bar, and very cool place. Would love to go back just to hang out. Um, Other than that, we went to Ensenada, Mexico. We'd never been there before, and full of character. It was so interesting to experience this culture. It was so different than what me and Amanda thought it was going to be. We thought it was going to be like this idyllic, like beachside town, but it was really just kind of like a regular every person town. We arrived and we had no idea where we were supposed to go. So we ended up going too deep into the city to where all the everyone wasn't selling us anything anymore. So initially, everyone's trying to sell you stuff. And then we got out of that ring and we were just amongst the people. And we went to a supermarket, and the pictures I took, I love both in Catalina and Ensenada, but more so in Ensenada. There are these little families selling all their wares and their offerings, and the guys trying to sing you songs. One guy sang us. I paid him to sing us a little song, and we had a great couple of tacos at this taco cart. I'm a big Mexican food guy. When you grow up in California, it's you Mexican food is excellent. The spices and everything. I love cooking Mexican food as well. That's neither here nor there. One, so that's like in total the short version of what went down. I think the value that it was given to us for free and we got to travel, the value is excellent. So it's funny because we joked like next time we'll do this, and that. And lo and behold, MGM had emailed us the opportunity to go on another free cruise. So we're going to pick up that in August in Vegas. And I know that they make you come pick it up because they're hoping you'll lose some money and whatever. But I'm like, we love Vegas anyway. It's a home away from home. Um, Other than that, what was interesting, the issues. So, what they have this on the boat, and I get it. Just hear me out. There's this contest called Sexiest Man in the World on the boat. And the host is this ridiculous guy. And he's saying for, the women to essentially sign up their men to be judged by other women. And immediately the vibe of this thing is like super weird. And I don't like the hypocrisy of things, and I generally keep my mouth shut because I know that this is something we do to men anyway, and we're kind of clowns to people. So, but in this moment, it was a little over the top, basically because this guy was asking the judges, who are random women, to judge these men. What do you like in a man? What do you like? And she's like, I like a good smile. And he's like, no, what do you really like? And then she's like, I like booty cheeks, and he knows how to shake them. And I'm just like, there's no way this would, like, as a community, a society, I think we are trying to move away from these kind of things. And we've done this has happened with women throughout, you know, our time as America or whatever, and in the world, like women have been something, a group of people that we as men, of course, we're like, of course we want to see, put hot women up there and judge them and say these ridiculous things. It's not okay. It doesn't enforce a good feeling. It makes you feel like a piece of meat, objectification, all that. I totally get that. I'm glad that we're moving further and further away from it, even though women, I think, I get it. All right, let's move on here. So, like, I just get to hear these women say this insanely terrible, just objectification of men, and then also they had the men do this like weird, embarrassing crap up there, and for some reason in society that's okay. It's okay to do this with men, but not women, you know. And this is about the point where if some people can be pissed off or whatever, I don't think what I'm saying is inflammatory. I think that collectively we're deciding to listen to women and all this and like to put them on an equal plane. This is all good. However, I think that there's a will, like a blind spot, that society is doesn't really acknowledge that it isn't equal, that men are largely, we're just here, and are in some cases treated like clowns. Like it's okay to do this to men. Like, and we're supposed, and also growing up, we're told to be good humored and to let things roll off our shoulders. And in the dating world, that's advantageous because, like a guy, we just want to like we we love ladies for the most part, and of course there are that men and people that don't and have their own deal. I'm specifically talking about straight men, or maybe just in date, like yeah, straight men specifically because I am one and I've this is my experience, and from what I've heard from other straight men, it's just we being agreeable and making fools out of ourselves, and like we essentially want to do everything to make a woman like us because we love ladies. We're like yeah, and most just want one. I honestly kind of don't believe the whole like multiple, like some dudes want to have multiple women. It's like sure that, but I know that in my life the guys who have said all of that are really just sad and were hurt by one woman they really liked. So now that they're just afraid of connection, so they just have a lot of hookups, which is not the same. There's like a fear to take it seriously again. Um, but I won't get into that. It was just, we are hams. Like dudes are kind of clowns, and that's how it's been. And so you could put us on stage, and that's okay. And you can like make you a fat guy is like a joke, and whatever. Like it's the same thing. I just wish that we saw both with a clarity and also allowed for men to also be, just included in the deal, and to have Royal Caribbean as a company be like, perhaps it's not okay to put random men on stage chosen by women and then like graphically objectified, and also to be chosen who is the sexiest out of all of them. It just seems toxic to me. But I get it. Everyone's just trying to have a laugh. I have a history with emotional abuse and all that, so I left. And I made a post on my Instagram about it because I don't think it's fair. I think men should be also respected. And everyone likes to say, well, men run the country and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, but I mean, when you get down to the normal guy, like all men aren't running the country. It's just like one guy usually, and then eventually it'll be a woman. Hopefully, great. I'd love to see what a female president could do. Right on. But I don't think it's connected to gender so much. I won't get into that. Like, I don't know. I'll stop. I'll stop there because there's nothing really to say. It's Amanda knows, and I'm happy, and I'm so happy to be married to Amanda, and I love her with all my heart. That's all I ever wanted. So I'm here. I'm happy, and that's okay. What else happened in the last? I forget when I did one of these again. Um, Exciting news as far as photography goes. Well, I'm going to start drawing again this weekend. I've posted a few things, but seriously drawing. I've been taking more pictures lately, and I entered a few into some contests. So um, I'm excited for that to see. I don't think I'll win, um, but it's nice to put the chips down. I I do want to grow as an artist in the view of the world, and try my best to gain some kind of notoriety. I I'm sure someone would listen and be like, you have 30,000 or so followers, but that's not it. I am happy that 30,000 people would watch me do anything. That's cool, but it'd just be nice to have my art become something I do for a living. You know what I mean? Um, so the way you do that is try to get in shows and try to win contests. And I also have a full time job, so it's not at the forefront of my mind. I also have my Amanda and my family that lives around me, and I just always want to be trying to live the life that is dope. You know, it's interesting lately. I started like drinking alcohol at 15. My cousin, I won't say which cousin, uh, he one time I was like sleeping over his house, and he's like, "Hey, you want to go to a house party?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I think my first drink was gin, which I hated, and that kind of like continued to grow throughout my life. I've never had an issue with drinking. In the military was kind of like my peak drinking, and then now I it's been rare. I've bought alcohol. I've been like whiskey. I love whiskey. I love good whiskey. I love good wine. But I can't tell you the last time I bought a bottle of alcohol for myself. It's right there. I haven't even drank. I haven't opened it in a long time. I don't know. I'm out here not drinking, homies, which is crazy. I'll have a drink at like my parents' house or at a bar watching like a Guinness watching baseball. But that's literally it. I don't drink in my house anymore, which is bizarre. And it's not like I made it up. I'm not like I'm going to stop drinking. It's just like happened. And part of me thinks that's just I'm always listening to myself. I don't I do what feels right. And I yeah, I don't know. Feels good. Happy to do it. Happy to get into more art. I've been meaning to. I have the cover of this zine I'm working on. I did this cover a while ago. I have to make a zine, which is a small like magazine essentially. It's like a little guy. Usually has some like pulpy stuff in it. And then today I had a sudden, or was it last night? It was last night. I had an idea to make it's, and I'm gonna say it. If someone steals it, that's whatever. Fog City Pulp is the name of the zine, and I thought maybe I could make it into reels too. The whole idea is to have like kind of lore around San Francisco and the Bay Area, like urban legends and made up facts, just kind of like mysterious, conspiratorial, interesting, pulpy uh, content, and I think that'd be fun to make. So, for some reason, I haven't moved on it. Photography has been my number one for since April. So 2 months. That's it. Wow, it feels like an eternity. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think you've seen probably. I've been so Waymo. Robot cars. They are dope. I am in the beta with Waymo, and so is Amanda, and I love it. I before I went on the cruise, I'd only taken Waymos, and you really don't understand like that you had that that an Uber is uncomfortable. I had driven it with I've had Ubers forever, and I never thought about it until I got into a Waymo, and then something was lifted. I was like, oh, this is so relaxing because no one's there. It's just you. And of course, they have like their camera or whatever. But, you know, that doesn't bother me. That's all good. It's for security. I get it. And it is wonderful. So, Uber's ruined. I'm excited to see where we get to go for the next cruise. Before they had like a list of ones we could take. Me and Amanda are hoping for Alaska. I'm personally hoping for the Caribbean. If there was a Mediterranean one, that would be cool. Or maybe even just a different Mexico one. I don't know. What a privilege to have the quandary of what free cruise shall I take? It's just bizarre, you know. Life is crazy, and I am thankful. Weird. I also I need to make an EP where I sing. If you didn't know, I have recorded and sang a good amount of my life. But for I think the last time I recorded something singing, well, I think it was probably 8 years ago or something. 28, maybe 30. No, maybe 4 years ago. Probably 5. No, it was 7 or 8. 7 or 8 years ago. I love to sing. I sing to Amanda, and then I've sang to my niece, Camille, and it's something I really enjoy doing, and I love writing songs as well. And I don't have any like idea that that I'll blow up in any way. Same thing with my art. I'm happy to be out here. Of course, I want that would be great, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I I enjoy doing what I'm doing. There was a point in my life where I was not making art to this extent. I was just not. I was stuck. I was buried in toxic sludge, surrounded by toxic people, all of which didn't want me to create or even acknowledge that I had an ability to create, and that's where I thought I belonged. But a sad time, man. But I'm so far away from that. It's been so long. Like, when did COVID end? I wonder if Siri knows. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. You're not listening to me? Oh, there you are. Hey, Siri. When did COVID officially end?
On the 31st of January, 2023, President Biden announced the end to the COVID-19 emergency declarations by the 11th of May, 2023.
Isn't that bizarre?
This answer is from Wikipedia.
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
Can you believe that? COVID ended essentially a year ago. Isn't that bizarre? Biden was like, it's done. A year, like, doesn't it feel like longer? I always fight against the phrase like time flies by. All you're saying to me is I have no ownership of my life. That's it. You know, you you reveal yourself as someone who is allowing themselves to feel that. It's the longest thing we'll ever do living. And it does take a long time. I understand at the end of life or near it, it'd be probably easy to stand by. I'm not working. What do you mean? All right, let's see. We got. So, what do I do for work, guys? You want to know? I'll tell you. I'm a global IT manager. I think I've said it before. Um, I've been doing IT for like 14 years. All right, I think I'm going to end this one. Thank you for listening. Love you all. Have a great one. I know it wasn't like the most cohesive one, but hey, that's Frantic Purpose, homie. Love you.